Well, on the phone line, once again, it's Kendra Mcmillan, who's the Senior Policy Advisor for Nursing Practice and Work Environment with the American Nurses Association. Kendra is also a registered nurse with a master's degree in public health. And, of course, today, we want to talk about, one of the things that I see on TV all the time. One thing that destroys me all the time, Kendra, is when I see a nurse break down on TV and how they're stretched to the limit. And I'm just really excited about you guys launching a coronavirus response fund for nurses, because what we're basically trying to do is raise some funds for some of these nurses to help them, right? Isn't that what we're doing here?
Yes, absolutely. So what we've done is we've been able to partner with Johnson & Johnson, and we need to raise money for nurses. And as you've seen in the news, the biggest issue is lack of protection for not only nurses, but physicians, respiratory therapists, all of our medical professionals who are on the front lines. And, they are a vulnerable population. They are going into the fire every day and caring for patients without the proper protection. They're
Kendra,
going home to their families and they're scared. Yes.
I am not being political, and I'm not trying to steer you down that at all, okay?
Yeah.
It just so happens that our government response has been horrible every day. We have our president gets up on TV and lists off the hundreds of thousands of masks that are being shipped and all the PPEs that are available, and that medical professionals are not using all of the test kits that they're sending, and so on and so forth. I know I'm not trying to paint you in a corner, but what the information they're giving us is simply not true.
Right. And the information we know, what we're hearing on the front lines is that our nurses and our healthcare workers are not protected. And, they're being told to reuse masks for an entire shift, or they're allotted one mask a week, or to reuse gowns. And their risk of infection just from reusing PPE is high. And, it's a failure that has occurred. We knew this was coming. And yet,
and I'm not trying to get anybody to make
preparation was not in place.
I'm not trying to get you to make a statement, they're messing up and they're lying to us and so on and so forth, but it just is disheartening when I'll watch the press conference, and then they'll cut to these nurses crying in the hallways. That bothers me. And listen, the coronavirus response fund for nurses, I'm going to start off by with a $100 donation. The public can text thanks to 20222. That's 20222 to make a $10 donation. Now, it's going to help provide direct assistance to the nurses, support the mental health. Come on, man. You guys got to understand this is draining mentally on our nurses and doctors. It affords nurses access to latest scientific evidence to protect themselves and provide patient care. This is so important that we do this again, and I'm going to post this on our Instagram page. You can text thanks to 20222 and make a $10 donation or whatever you can do. It is so important. Frieza, I know you had a question for Kendra.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you, Kendra, is touching the door or to elevator buttons or shopping carts with your sleeve, is that sufficient enough to keep the virus at bay?
So if you're touching it with your sleeve, then, your sleeve would serve as a barrier. But what's most important is if you're out and about, we usually say if you're touching an elevator button, use your knuckle. Once you get to the floor, go right to the bathroom, wash your hands with soap and water. Same thing with the grocery store. Carry your hand sanitizer with you. Many grocery stores have wipes available. Wipe down your cart. Once you finish grocery shopping, use your hand sanitizer. When you get home, again, wash your hands with soap and water. And then, make sure you're washing all your produce, things that you're touching. You can wipe them down, just as an extra safeguard to protect yourself.
I sent out a video. I posted it online. Dr. David Price out of, I think it's Cornell. He had the most comprehensive video. He works on the front line. He works with nothing but COVID patients. And he says, I will not get this virus. The reason why, because I don't take my hands to my face. He kept saying, hands to your face. If you touch something or you shake somebody that's asymptomatic and doesn't have anything, if you shake somebody's hand, you touch them, wash your hands before you go to your face. He says, out of almost 98% of the patients that he sees, it's from touching something and going to their face, because you don't realize it's an automatic impulse to itch, to scratch, to touch your nose, touch your eye or your mouth with your hands. He says that's how a lot of them are getting it. I mean, some of it is aerial, but it's difficult. You have to have sustained contact with somebody that has the virus in a closed-in space from 15 to 30 minutes in order to get infected. But touching somebody hands to face is the biggest culprit. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, what we know is this virus is primarily spread through respiratory droplets. Those are heavy droplets that when one coughs or sneezes, they land on a surface. That surface is touched, and people many times, even if they're not aware of it, they touch their face.
Yeah.
Wash your hands. Do not touch your face, your eyes, your mouth, your nose. That is a direct point of entry.
Let me go ahead and give out this information again because it is so important. Kendra, we're going to do our part to make sure we take care of our nurses and our doctors, our first responders. You can text thanks to 20222. See, that's easy to remember. Remember the TV show 222? Just put a 20 in front of it. That's 20222 to make a $10 donation. It will help our nurses. It will help them get the so-called, the government saying they're sending all these masks and all these PPEs, and that's just not happening. It's just not true. And it's not even about getting on the government's case. It's just the facts. And as the death toll rises, our nurses need mental health. They need all this stuff. So if you guys can do that, we'd really appreciate it. Kendra, did you want to add something else before I let you go?
So I also wanted to highlight the need for PPE via our hashtag #RNAction campaign, also the hashtag #GetMePPE if you're on Twitter. But, just thank you. Thank you for your support.
Kendra Mcmillan, Senior Policy Advisor for Nursing Practice and Work Environment with American Nurses Association. Kendra, we're going to have you on again real soon, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you. You take care.
You too. Bye.